the same thing.
You would just have to like change the tone of it, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
And we're very people don't realize how tonal Polynesians are. Even like I think Tongans are probably like the most tonal. You know, they don't say oh fefehake.
Yeah.
You know, the way they talk. Yeah.
Oh, you know Tongan language too. Okay.
My grandma says it's polite to greet people in their languages, so I will always greet someone in their language.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that a lot.
Oh, that's how I got my husband. He was getting his stuff ready because we both retired Tihati dancers, so he's getting his stuff ready. I'm like, oh, here's a new boy, okay. And then I heard his accent. He said hi, and I was like, oh, and because I can tell the accents, I know accents, so I knew he was from Aotearoa. I knew he wasn't from Australia, so I was like, oh, kia ora ke te pehe, and he was like, who's this? Who's this Hawaiian girl?
He said, "Love on first sight." Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all you beautiful people out there, my name is Starr, the host of Inside the PAC podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Pacific Ave Company. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in just a second because I want to bring in my co-host, as always, with me, Miss the wrong one. Wrong screen. Well, we got Kaleo Head on the building. She is right here in the middle. And then we have a special guest, obviously, because I chose the wrong screen, but Miss Ku'uleilehua Makekau is in here as well.
Aloha kako.
That's the first time that I made that mistake, but we here and we running it and we're gonna go with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate you guys joining in on this show, on this episode. This is episode 20. No, not 20. Gosh, we're we're episode 38, even higher. Episode 38. So thank you for joining us. Again, like I said, this podcast is brought to you by Pacific Ave Company, and as I bring this up, where are you? Here we are. Pacific Ave Company is a brand and a movement fostering unity within the diverse cultures of Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia, celebrating our collective shared heritage and promoting our connection while educating the global community about our rich and diverse cultures. And also, this podcast is sponsored by Okoa Ohana. But before I tell you about Okoa Ohana, check out pasifikaveco.com. It'll be in the link below. You can check out our merch. We just went through 2 pre-orders of merch. One of them is this hat, and then the other one is that you can see back here, a bunch of hoodies and stuff. But we will be dropping new merch, a new design coming March 1st. So stay tuned for that. But our podcast is also sponsored by Okoa Ohana, and they are a Hawaii clothing brand based out of Vegas, and we like to call it the quote-unquote ninth island, but they are there operating business out there. You can check out their clothes, their brand, everything at okoaohana.com, and you can use our discount code PacificAv15 to get 15% off. So check them out. Other than that, let's get to the fun of this podcast. Ku'uleilehua, Kaleo, are you guys ready for this episode?
Let's go.
So ready.
So ready.
So ready.
You're going to start us off with what we always like to do at Questions Roulette. Ku'uleilehua, are you ready?
I am ready. Oya, let's go.
Do you even know what Questions Roulette is?
No, but let's go.
I'm gonna ask you a bunch of just random questions, and you're gonna answer them as quickly as you can. Rapid fire, if you will, but doesn't necessarily have to be. A lot of us go over the 1 minute time frame that we have for it anyway. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I always do. Okay, so 2-story house or 1-story house?
1 story.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Cookies or brownies?
Brownies, always.
Walmart or Target?
Target.
Scott. Oh, okay. This one. Okay. Scott slippers or Jesus sandals?
Jesus.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Yes, Starr. I knew that one. Okay.
Ooh.
Malasadas from Leonard's or Cocoa Puffs from Lilia Bakery?
Oh.
I read that one was like,
wait, is it hot or cold? Is it a hot or cold day? If it's a cold day, I want hot malasada. If it's a hot day, I want liliha.
it's an even day, just mid.
You know what? I'm gonna say liliha. I'm gonna say liliha. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, okay. We're moving on. Okay. Back massage or foot massage?
Oh, feet. Yeah.
Sleep with socks on or no socks?
I sleep with nothing on, so no socks.
You learned something today. Tuna or salmon?
Salmon.
Okay. Shrek or Monsters Inc?
Shrek. I like the accent. Yes.
Shrek is a classic. Monsters Inc.
Mhm.
does they do Monsters Inc. is very well put together. That was a great movie, but I think Shrek is one of them. Like you just can't choose anything else.
And I think Shrek reminds me of a lot of uncles that I have. You know, at least you know he'll protect you.
Wait. Who reminds you of Donkey?
Donkey. Probably my brother.
Yeah, my little brother. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, my little brother. Yeah.
So you would so you'd probably say that Donkey is not your favorite character in that movie.
Yeah, he has the best jokes. Yeah.
Moments.
Yes, for sure.
Just like a little brother does.
Yes. Until he
Or an older.
pisses you off. Yeah. Until he
So-
pisses you
so-
off. Then it's done.
So here's a question for both you guys. What does Donkey do in the morning?
The dragon. Oh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't going that
no?
route.
Oh, what?
I was going to
Makes waffles?
exactly. He makes waffles.
I'm making waffles. Okay.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
Making waffles.
Yeah, you was thinking about different waffles. That's what you were thinking about. Anyways, I do want to bring up because you were like, oh, Jesus sandals, and Hawaii is big on Scotch slippers. No, kind of maybe.
Well, yes, they are, but no, that's like the bougie ones, the new ones. No, when I was 3 or 4, I was wearing Jesus slippers. So no, Scots is a new thing. That's all.
Really? I don't think so. I don't think it was a new thing. I think it was the going out one, the going out slippers. You know what I mean?
I don't remember Scots until I was about an intermediate. I remember Jesus slippers more.
I mean,
Or maybe it's because I couldn't afford the Scots. I don't.
Hey, I couldn't afford the Scots either, so
that's all of us. Shoot, that's
So
probably
Jesus,
okay.
it's comfort. It's home. It's comfort. Jesus
Yeah.
slippers.
You're
Yeah.
definitely not wrong. I was gonna say that's probably all of Hawaii, right? You see Scotch slippers, like, oh, bougie. Oh, where you going? You going out? Where you gonna eat? You know what I mean? And then me and Kaleo earlier were like, oh, she got an Apple laptop, so we probably know the answer to this question, right, Kaleo? The Apple.
Well,
Android?
yeah, I mean, so it wasn't just the laptop. It was the second she stood up with the phone. I was like, oh, okay, I know the answer to that one. Android.
Yep, Android, Galaxy. Yee. Let's go.
Look, she's like, oh, gross.
I think that's the only one out of all the questions that we don't agree with you.
You know, that's the first thing I tell girls. Like when they're like, "Oh, how can I make my content better?" I'm like, "Get rid of your Android."
No.
Oh,
No. Okay, are we gonna make this episode the whole episode
No.
about Android
No.
versus?
No, we're
No,
not.
no,
We're
no,
not.
no, no, no.
We're not. Hey, look, listen. Okay, last thing. Newer Androids have really good cameras. Okay, I'm just saying that. Okay, I'm done. Moving on.
Okay.
Did you? Fun fact. Did you know that Apple buys their?
April.
Did you know that Apple buys their camera equipment thingy or whatever technology from Android? So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Really?
Yes, there's articles.
didn't
and
know that.
everything.
You know, I'm trying to buy the Fairphone, which isn't even it's not even available here. It's only in Europe. and it's
Dang.
made of recyclable materials, and it's like supposed to be more sustainable. And anyways,
Earth
I'm trying
friendly.
to. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't use
Uh,
cobalt. Mined by little children. You know. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move on. Later on, towards the end of the episode, we have One Must Go, and I'm sure you saw some videos on Instagram. I'm probably gonna ask the one that Kaleo doesn't want to answer, but we're gonna move on.
Okay.
And
Still won't.
you better soon.
I will not.
Anyways, Ku'ulei,
No, I'm nervous.
no, you are gonna be nervous. This is probably you probably won't ever answer either. But before we move on and dive deeper into some of the questions that we have here, I just want to show appreciation to you for joining us. You're not our first Hawaiian, but I feel like this episode we're diving deeper into the Hawaiian culture by some of these
Yeah.
questions, and so really appreciate you coming on. Thanks for coming through.
Mahalo for having me. Thank you.
All right. So before I keep saying that, I'm gonna give you this little opportunity to just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do. I know you are an entrepreneur and a digital creator. So if you want to tell us a little bit about that before we get into the questions.
Yeah. So my name is Ku'uleilehua Makekau, and I'm a very proud Indigenous mama of 7 beautiful babies. I like making babies and I like making money. And so yes, I have 7 babies. I give birth every year for my husband. Yes, I give birth every year. And so and you know what? I have been an entrepreneur now for 5 years. I left my regular 9 to 5. My husband hasn't worked a 9 to 5 for 2 years, and I have multiple streams of income. And I love sharing about how to make work smarter rather than harder for people. And I love to share that, you know, you can be innovative when it comes to making an income. Money isn't bad. And I also just love sharing about our history and our culture, because Hawaii, there is so much more to us than just your dream vacation destination. And so I love to share those kinds of things on my platform, and that's what I use my platform for.
Nice. Now, Kaleo, you wanna bring up why you almost choked on your water? You're muted, by the way.
I like literally, it almost came out my nose. I almost spit it all over my desk. Like the comment of, yeah, you know, you pop out a baby every year for your husband. I was just like, whoa, what? No. 2 done. We're good. Nope. 7.
Yeah, my
Nice.
oldest is 8 and my youngest is 5 months.
Oh, just recently, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you know what? I'm so dumb. I saw your video about talking about my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
He forgets. It's okay.
Hey, but that's like, I mean, even though we were shocked, I think we just wasn't expecting a number, but that's like kind of normal in the Islander culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have 13 siblings, so I think 7's fine. That's
Not enough.
Yeah.
No, it's totally like oof. Oh, woo! I only say that because pregnancy for me was hell.
Yeah.
So I would have definitely had a lot. I mean, my dad was one of 12,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
get it. Like, and you know, my household was 7, so we were still small for our family, but
No, that's same as my mom. She's one of 8, and then I mean even the in-laws counted too. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's big families
know
all
what?
around.
You know what's cool is it's not as common, because sometimes we have people stop us and they literally ask, "Are these all your kids?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes." And if it's a Hawaiian, like a tutu or an uncle or something, they always thank us. They always say thank you for having a big family. And I'm like, yeah,
What?
yeah, sure.
So why do you oh, Kaleo, so you can answer too. Why do you think that, you know, tutus and our grandmas and our older generation would say that? What is your
I
thought
think
behind
they
that?
notice. I think they notice that a lot of people don't want to have kids because kids are such a burden. It's so expensive now. But it's also because, you know, we went from 1 million people for Hawaiians. We went from 1 million in population to 35,000 at one point. And now we are just about to hit the million mark again. And it took us about 200 years to get there. So I think it's just, for me, I realized how important it was. Not that I was trying to get all these kids or anything. It's just, my man can haka. So, so that helps. And, my ori, my farapus are not bad. So but we didn't plan this at all. But now we see the importance of it now that we are here, and the kids just kept coming. We were just like, wow, because we also have a lot of friends that also, have a hard time nowadays having kids. So I just took it for granted. Oh no, you get pregnant, you're going to have a baby. I didn't really realize about all the other things that were happening in our communities. I know a lot of Polynesian communities, having children necessarily isn't a given. So I'm super grateful and I'm super blessed, to have all of my babies. I love them. They're beautiful. They're healthy. Some people ask me about like the health risks, but I've had 7 healthy babies and healthy pregnancies. So yeah.
I mean, it's natural to our, not even just our cultures. It's natural to the human beings to have babies. And I'm sure that's easy for me to say. I can't have a baby, but you know what I'm saying though, right? Like that's what, I hate to bring religion again, for all you non-religion people. That's what God put us on this earth for, is to produce. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's and a lot of people in our culture, throughout the whole Pacific Ocean, we always call it a blessing.
Yep.
No matter
Yeah.
what situation their family's in, you know what I mean? It's always a blessing, right? But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's pretty, a cool insight that, our older generation would thank us for having kids, right? And not only, just to kind of have more in our population of our peoples, but to have the opportunity for our culture to spread even more, I think.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah. I mean, I've had them ask like, "Oh, only 2?" I'm like,
I think I asked that.
I'm like,
That's enough.
"Yeah, like that's good for me." And they're like, "Huh." I'm like, "I'm sorry." Like, I mean, I
Hey,
wasn't supposed to be
Enough.
able to have kids, so the fact that I have 2 is a very big blessing. So, but like, they're a handful.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a I think your daughter has a long typical Hawaiian name, right, Kaleo?
Yes.
Do you want to say it?
It's Ka'ua no I mana o lana o kalani.
Oh,
That's
cute.
her name. She has nothing else. It's just that.
Nice. Nice.
So you
And,
got.
people.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say you get the that's all. That's only 2, but me and my wife go like, hurry up, make babies. I'm like, because we don't have any kids yet. We're 30 years old, and we're like, frick, man, like we're trying, but it hasn't come yet. Our blessing hasn't come yet. I'll say that.
Keep trying. It's fun trying.
It really is. Practice makes perfect.
No. Perfect practice makes perfect.
Hey, yeah, can't always be perfect.
No. So Kool-Aid, what were you gonna say before I cut you off?
Oh no. I was gonna say, yep. Some, a lot of us have those long names. My kids' names are they don't fit on a passport or a social security card. But I love Hawaiian. I love it that you have Hawaiian names. I think our parents, like my government name is something else. But my mom didn't want people to ruin my name, and she wanted us to get a job, is what she said. And so all of us have English first names. But if you were ever to call me that, I'd be like, wait, what? Oh, me. Oh, sorry. Because I didn't want to accommodate as well. I didn't want to accommodate, name my children out of convenience. So all of our children as well have ancestral Polynesian names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you brought that up, because it brought me to what my grandparents did when my grandparents moved. My mom them to Hawaii. They specifically told all of the 8 siblings to teach their kids English. You know what I mean? And it was because of stuff like what you just said about, trying to get a job, have a better life. And it sucks that us islanders have to go through a whole cultural change, not in just scenery, but our way of life. And
Yeah.
it sucks, but I mean, we can't we can't dwell on that issue. You know what I mean? The world is going to be the world. The world's always going to change, and we have to adjust and adapt to the world, but also try to stay true to our cultures, right? So I'm glad that you brought that up, because that reminded me of that situation too, which is
Yeah.
why I can't speak fluent Samoan, and I
Yeah.
just hate that. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I'm
Yeah.
trying. I have like an app. I got a teacher and everything, so I'm trying. I'm trying.
At least you're trying. At least you're
Yeah.
trying, because that's what counts. And it's not necessarily our fault. It has to do with colonization
Yeah.
and whatnot. And Olelo Hawaii was banned until 1978. So, we lost our language. My papa, who is pure Hawaiian, 3 of my grandparents are pure Hawaiian. They were all beaten in school for speaking their language, their mother tongue. So for them to speak Olelo Hawaii is traumatizing. My papa does not remember it, even though it was his mother tongue. And he only went to Kamehameha when he was 9. And up until then, only spoke Olelo Hawaii, but it was beaten out of him. So he doesn't really speak Hawaiian now.
Dang.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Shoot, you brought up the Olelo Hawaii being banned. Maybe
Yeah.
I should save this question for your husband, because obviously what was going on down in New
Oh,
Zealand, right?
TDT. Yeah.
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 So
For sure. Yeah.
it'd be good to kind of get his perspective. We have our thoughts too, but coming from an actual Maori person, right?
Yeah.
But let's dive into these questions. So this first
Yeah. Yeah.
question for you, sis. How do you personally express and embody, your Hawaiian identity? Kind of what we was talking about, and what aspects of it are most important for you to convey to others, especially like non-islanders, or even to our own other, cultures, or other islands.
I think the easiest part that comes to me is hula. People know me for hula. They know me for dance. So hula was the easiest way for me to connect. It's gonna be funny, actually. I hated hula. I so I fell in love more with oritaiti growing up, but because my family was primarily Hawaiian, my grandmother was like, "You're more Hawaiian than you are Tahitian. You cannot oritaiti unless you're going to dance hula too." And so I was forced to kind of dance hula. But I ended up really falling in love with hula. As a kid, I was quite embarrassed, and I just have to add this in because it grows to this. I associated being Hawaiian with being poor, not having things. I used to be ashamed that I was Hawaiian. Like people would ask me, "Are you Hawaiian?" And I'd be like, oh yeah, like it wasn't growing up when I was little. I even had a girl that couldn't come to my house. I was in 4th grade, and I grew up. I'm born and raised in Kailua, so I grew up in Kailua. And this particular new girl at school was like, um, "Oh, we became really good friends right off the back." And I was like, "Oh, you should come to my house play." I'm just asking, come to my house play, because I noticed that she got off quite close to where I live, so I knew she lived close. And anyways, the next day she asked me, "Oh, are you Hawaiian?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, I'm Hawaiian." And she goes, "Oh, are you poor?" And that's when that came into my mind. I was like, "What?" And I remember coming home to my grandma. I was crying and I asked her, "Are we poor?" And she goes, and I didn't understand what this was. She goes, "What are you talking about?" I'm crying. "Are we poor? Are we poor because we're Hawaiian? Are we poor?" And she's like, "No, we're average." And I was like, "What's average? Like, what the heck?" I'm like, "What's an average mean?"
Right.
And
Right.
I was so upset. And so like I just hated the way I looked. I hated my hair. I hated being so dark. I just I didn't really find my pride until I was older. Until I was older. And just being an Oritaiti just seemed a lot like all I saw was my grandparents would make me go to these marches. And why are we marching for? What are these Hawaiian things? Like my grandparents are these crazy activists. Like, what is this stuff I always have to go to? Like, I didn't really understand it. It's really, really sad now because 2 of my grandparents, who are almost pure Hawaiian, have passed. So um, I didn't learn about my history correctly because of the schools that I went to. So for me to find that pride and how I portray myself, I had to grow into that because I was ashamed and because I didn't know the real history. I thought we're just angry Hawaiians. That's all I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah. And then I went to I graduated, started going to school, and I was like, I am not doing Hawaiian studies. Even though I grew up with a canoe carver, my papa's one of the last Hawaiian canoe carvers. He's a Kauna Kalaiba'a. My other papa is a Kauna Kalai Pohaku. I grew up around Hawaiian things, not understanding it necessarily, and thinking, oh, I just have to do this stuff because my family does this stuff. Like, oh my goodness, not realizing what I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like pretty dumb when I got into college. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll take Hawaiian history because I know this stuff. You know, it's easy stuff. And then come to my surprise, I was like, wait, what do you mean there's no treaty? Because this whole time for almost 20 years, I thought there was a treaty. Anyways, learned there wasn't. Started relearning my history again, getting more into it, seeing what my papa was fighting for, seeing what my grandma was fighting for, and I was like, oh my goodness. So my degree is in Hawaiian studies, and I never thought I would do that. But then I started loving what I did. And I started, like, every time I would hula, like, I already felt attached with hula, but I felt it even deeper. So, like, oh my goodness, how amazing if my kupuna could see us dancing hula, because that was also banned at one point. So I get to share and portray myself through hula and through dance, through music, stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm glad you brought that up because we talked a little bit about that on our last episode where we had a Micronesian come on and he talked about how that's how he connects with, you know, not just his people in Micronesia but also with the other islanders. You know, he connected with me on deployment. He connected with other Hawaiians. Even I think Tongans he mentioned, but shoot, even Filipinos. You know, our adopted Pacific Islands, I like to call them. But you know, through music, through dance, through food, you know, everything that you just said, it's very, you know, and that's a big message of our company, you know, Pacific Ave is, you know, we want to showcase the similarities
Yeah.
you know, the similarities in our heritage and the connection that we do have, even though we are
Yeah.
all distinct in our own. You know what I mean? We could relate
Yeah.
through all of the avenues that you just mentioned. So
Yeah, we have all of us have our own beautiful differences, but in the core, we're still so
Similar.
intertwined and similar
Yeah.
that there's just no reason to try and just rip us all apart.
Yeah.
And we should just be
Yeah.
coming together and celebrating the differences and the similarities.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Before Kaleo, before you get the next question, I wanted to bring up a statement that, you know, kind of what drove me to start this brand, this company. And I wanted to get your perspective because it was a Hawaiian person that said it. So I kind of want to see what your thoughts on it. And I don't know if you saw it before, but it was on my video. Uh, I think I was talking about Hawaiian or some cultures or whatever, just how we're Polynesian and Melanesian, whatever it was. But I saw this comment from this Hawaiian person that said, "Oh, we don't affiliate ourselves with Polynesians. We're only Kanaka Maoli. We're only Hawaiian."
That's interesting. I would say that person is probably not educated, really, because all of Polynesia is connected, even genetically, DNA. Hawaiian and Maori, at one point, they couldn't tell us apart. And we all come from the same, is it called Eva something? We're all from one genetic one genetic strand, all Polynesians and Melanesians and Micronesians are actually from. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Epeli but they wrote how all of Oceania, if we were to become one nation,
Mm-hmm.
we could literally overcome our obstacles, our colonizers, our
Mm-hmm.
oppressors, all of that. And I think our differences break us apart, but need to pull us together. Like what you were just saying, like, you know, there's beauty in those differences. Like when you're in Hawaii, the first thing we ask you, right? Were you in grad?
Yeah, exactly.
Were you in grad? That tells us everything we need to know about you. But
Mm-hmm.
are we all proud to be a part of Hawaii? Yes. But we also have this other pride for our alma maters. Yeah.
Mhm, yeah,
So I think it's kind of very similar to that. Like, yes, we can all still be culturally proud of our heritage, but we have to realize that at one point our ancestors did not see those boundaries
Mhm.
of the ocean. The ocean wasn't a boundary. We
Right.
traveled in between them constantly. When I see Moana, I don't see Hawaiian. I see a big mix because
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can see Tonga, I can see Micronesia in there. I can see the Tuinga. Like, and when I see the canoe, that's not a Hawaiian canoe because my papa's a canoe builder. You know, like I can see all those things. So
Right.
like I feel like Moana is really cool because Moana is in all of our languages. That
Right.
specific word, Moana Nui. And Moana Nui Akea, Moana Nui Akiwa, we all call Moana Nui Pacific,
Yep.
Polynesia, one word. And I feel like that ties us all together. Like at one point, we were all just different villages, basically,
Right.
not
Right.
islands, just different villages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
I
whole
don't.
thing. There was a whole thing on the Moana movie that a bunch of islanders were like, "That's not Hawaiian," or "That's not Samoan," or they didn't really do a good job. I'm like, it wasn't supposed to be a Hawaiian or a Samoan movie. It was supposed to be
It's
a movie.
Disney.
Yeah. Well, yeah. One is Disney, right? One is
Yeah.
Disney, but I saw the interview of the two, Haole Palangi dudes that made the movie or whatever. But
Yeah. Yeah.
they specifically said that they wanted to encompass all of the whole Oceania, culture.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that that thing was like, oh, it's a Hawaiian movie. No.
Yeah. No, people are always like, oh, you should really teach that when that Moana girl on the float. Anyways, I got tagged in it so many times. They're like, you should go teach her some hula. I was like, well, it's not really hula, but yeah. So I did my own version and I was like, I did like a little Siva hula mix, but I was like, no, she's not Hawaiian. She's not Hawaiian. So I wouldn't teach her hula. I was like, they should get a well-rounded dancer so they
Right.
can, that does all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how do you aim to portray the essence of Hawaii, its people, its stories, to a broader audience, especially for those who may not be familiar with our culture?
I definitely use my Instagram for sure. Yeah, I might do funny twerking videos and then I'm gonna hit you with some Hawaiian history you never thought you needed to know.
Right,
Like,
capture.
yeah. I'm just gonna like hook you in. You think it's gonna be funny, all funny, and then boom, Hawaiian culture shock. No, I everything that I do, even things that might seem inappropriate, I'm like, um, I try to portray myself in a good way with good intentions. But I just feel like it's so much more than just me. Why would I not share? I used to be afraid of sharing these kinds of things or Hawaiian history or where I stand politically and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, wait, my kupuna had no voice. The Ku'e petitions went to America, went to the White House, and nobody listened. Wait, they didn't have social media back then. Wait, people think that this is what happened when it didn't happen. So then I started thinking, what kind of wahine do I want to be for my kids? I want them to be outspoken. I want them to speak their truth. I want them to still be them unapologetically. I want my kids to be confident. Yeah. And I have sons too. So I need them to kind of see me a little like out there so that they're not hindered or insecure about a woman like me, about a vahine.
Yeah.
Yeah. About a mana vahine like me, like their father is. My husband, sometimes he doesn't always agree with things, but he lets me be me. But how I portray for Hawaii is, well, I went to school for it. So, I kind of have a little bit of backing there where I'm educated, even in a sense, to my colonizer. I have a degree to back up what I'm saying. Like, you think I'm dumb and I need to go to college or go to school? I did that. I have a degree and I can share. I went to school for this kind of stuff. You can't tell me my history. I try to do it in a good way. I try not to be. Some people think it's racist, and some people get really butthurt about what I have to portray about my feelings on Hawaii and how I represent it. But that is what really happened, and it's not necessarily about race. It's about what's right and wrong, and the wrong that was done. So I try not to do the whole victim mindset. I just like to educate people as gently as possible. And would I feel embarrassed about what I'm saying now? I think about that all the time. Like, am I going to regret what I'm saying right now? No. I need to be I need to be straightforward, to the point, feel it in my core, feel it in my all that this is how I feel about this. So I think I portray my way. I think I portray Hawaii in a good way, and I'm upfront. I tell people I don't know everything. I'm here. I'm a lifelong learner. Always, I'm always adding to my eke of knowledge. But I want you to think on these things. I want you to think on this topic or what actually happened. You might have learned another way, but let me just tell you that this is our history, you know? And so I try to portray myself in a good way, in an intentional pono way, as much as I can.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's you know, I got a little bit to add on to that.
Yeah.
There's always, not necessarily the right and wrong way to portray a message, right? But there's times where it, like you said, it comes off as super aggressive. And I think the important thing is people understanding the intentionality behind it,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes, maybe more often than not, I'm not sure, but I have seen it before where sometimes you could tell the intention is to show hate because that's what our peoples went through back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, Kaleo knows me, she known me for a while. Like, I always want to show that aloha, no matter if I'm frustrated or mad
Yeah.
about something, like, or be the better person, right? So if somebody's telling me, why are you being nice to them? They did this to you, or they did this to your people. I'm like, okay, but I still gotta treat them with aloha because that's how I was
Yeah.
raised. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you try to do it with pono, right? Try to do it with respect, because at the end of the day, that's all we want is respect, right?
Yeah.
And it's
And I
funny.
constantly have to, I remind people too, aloha doesn't mean I love you. It doesn't mean love, hello, goodbye. It's a reciprocation of respect. It's a feeling.
Mhm.
It's not aloha. Oh, we have so much aloha, you can take advantage of us. No, you need to show aloha to get aloha. That's what this is. Like, and it's not I don't hate Americans. I just don't like what the government did. That's all. It's not that simple. Sorry.
No.
Call my star. Go on.
No. That's pretty much what it was, right? Like, we can't fix what happened in the past. All we can do is move forward, right?
Yeah.
And how do we move forward if we keep bringing up the past? That's just me. I mean, bring up the past to remember and honor what has already happened and what our. It's funny I say our, and I'm Samoan and have no Hawaiian blood in me.
You're our
You know what I'm saying?
Polynesian.
Our, it's we're honoring, what our people went through back then by pushing forward.
Yeah.
And I think one of my good friends, my classmate actually, and I know you know him, Kala, Big Shane.
Oh yes, I do. Yeah, I know of
So
him.
I think he does a great job, especially on social media. Spreading the message, talking about certain videos that go viral about this culture or that culture, and then he always does the okay, before we talk, handu. You know what I mean? Take the energy in, breathe in the mana, right? So I like that he does that. Shout out to you, Kala. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
I think too, I just want to add to it's people don't realize how big of a deal it is to share about these things. Like when I shared my DHHL, my Hawaiian Homelands math is going viral because people didn't realize about this thing. So, I also share because I need people to bring awareness, because maybe we can get rid of this quantum. That sounds ridiculous. Like, people are like, what is this quantum? You guys have a blood quantum requirement? I was like, yeah, actually we do. We do have a blood quantum requirement. And then when people realize that 600,000 out of 900,000 Hawaiians, 600,000 of them live outside of Hawaii. I need to share these statistics. I need to share why it's important. I need to empower my people, show them that they can make money on social media like I do, because we're innovative. We're innovative people. We can totally get out of our circumstances. So that's also to the whole victim mindset. I'm like, no, we don't need to be victims anymore. We can. There's tons of different people who are doing amazing things. Like, you could start a podcast if you wanted to. Like, there's amazing, inspiring Polynesians out there, and we don't have to be what they say we are. We take charge of our future, of our circumstances.
Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys are enjoying the episode, please, on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button so that you don't miss any episodes, because believe me, all the episodes are great. Got different perspectives on different cultures, different people, in different career fields. And on Spotify, go ahead and like the show, right? Rate the show out of 5 stars. Share it. The more shares that we get, is so much more beneficial to our, I guess, purpose of spreading a message for our Pacific Island people. I do, again, this podcast is brought by Pacific Ave Company. Go ahead and check out our website at pacificaveco.com. Check out our merch and all that stuff, and also Ko'ahana. Yeah, we're back. So, like, it's crazy. Like, I had a outline in the order of how the questions wanted to go, but we were literally bouncing back and forth from different topics of the questions, which is fine too. It feels more like a conversation, I think, and agree or disagree with me, Kaleo. I think this episode so far has felt more like a regular conversation, as if we were in the same room,
Yeah.
compared to like other ones where we're like, all right, this question, all right, this question.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for the next one? All right.
Right. And maybe we could touch up on this just for a little bit, because there's a lot of stereotypes. But what are just some common stereotypes that others have about the Hawaiian culture, and then how much of it is actually true and how much of it is like false?
Well, I always get lazy. We're lazy, but that actually comes from when missionaries, like when explorers first came here, midday, we don't do anything. Hawaiians do not work. Work smarter, not harder. You don't work when the sun is in the middle of the sky. We wake up early and do our work, or we do it later in the day. That's all it is. We're not lazy at all. People also think we're uneducated, but actually, there has been, I think, a 60% increase on how many Hawaiians attend college now after high school here in Hawaii. A lot of us are educated now. We're not dumb Hawaiians, yeah. And then there's also, everyone thinks we're Asian, or they think we're Popolo, Meuli. And I'm like,
Or they think we're Hispanic.
Hispanic. Oh gosh. You know how many tias, every time I'm in America, you know how many tias are like,
Yeah.
oh, they start talking to me and I'm like, oh, lo siento, no hablas español. And they're like, your mom didn't teach you? I'm like, I'm Hawaiian. She didn't teach me.
Yeah.
Sorry. But that's also another podcast episode, because that's also the language of their oppressor. So it's very, anyways.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, so it's their English basically. But yeah, people always think we're Asian. When my husband first came here, and my husband is part Hawaiian, but grew up in Aotearoa, grew up Maori, came here to Hawaii and just thought that Hawaiians were Asian looking. Not all of us are Asian looking, or I'm pretty white now, but I was a dark kid. But like I was like, wait, what? No, we're all mixed, we all look different now. But my papa, I don't know if I can show him, but my papa's very dark. People always think that he's Meuli. They always think he's Popolo, or part, because he's so dark. But I'm like, no, Polynesians are dark.
Hey,
We're dark.
a lot of our older generations are dark.
Dark.
Because my grandpa was borderline dark.
Yeah. My papa has no other ethnicity in him at all. He's straight up pure Hawaiian. But those are just some of just the lazy. Oh, and that we all rely on government.
Oh.
We all live in low income housing. Like, not all of us. Like, I just want us to change our circumstances. Like, I can see a little bit on that, but I also didn't grow up around that too. So I'm like, I don't understand. But those are some stereotypes that I get. I actually did my thesis on Polynesian cultural identity. So I actually walked around and did surveys, and I told them to describe, and I had Hawaiian, Tahitian, Samoan, Tongan, Maori, Fijian. Like, I had, no, not Fijian. I didn't have Fijian. And people didn't know where Easter Island was. Anyways, the majority that they knew, the basic ones, it was very interesting on what they had to say. And they did say, like, Hawaiians were lazy. That was a number one thing. Hawaiians are lazy. You know what the number one thing was for Samoans, which I was like, what? Suburbans and Tahoes. And I was like, I was like, what? But I can see,
that
yes,
is hilarious.
But what? And then, for Tongans, it was, well, yeah. It was just interesting how surface that's what I'm gonna say. How surface they were. A lot of people didn't know about Maori. All they said was once were warriors or alcohol or like things
Wow.
like that. And I was like, but that's what they saw. So I was like, what they know about us as Polynesians were very, very surface. And I sent this survey. I walked around my campus and did this survey. I sent it to another school in, I don't know where my friend was going to school, but I sent it to my other friend who was in college in America. And then I sent it to my cousin in Aotearoa. And it was just very interesting, the perspectives that they had on us. Just the stereotypes. Like, why are we? And long hair. Everyone sees my hair.
I
Sometimes I just
mean,
screw with. They screw. Yeah.
they would say that they have long hair, but a lot of them would say that they're jealous of our long hairs. I mean, I don't know
Long
if you could
hair.
see, but
Yeah. Yeah. But Hawaiian. So when they see me, they're like, "Oh, you must be a hula dancer," and I'm like, "Never danced in my life." And I just like to screw with them. Like, nope, I don't know what that is.
then
Just to like,
they're gonna start, and then they start like showing this, this one, this.
yeah.
I hate
One
when
person
they
actually,
I hate when they
yeah,
actually do that motion. I'm like, where'd you get? We never do that motion.
yeah, yeah. And those are some stereotypes for Hawaii that I get. Just uneducated, lazy, Asian. Those are like the basic ones. None of them are true, I don't think. I think there are, I guess, a lot of part Asians because plantation, but not all
Yeah.
of us. I wouldn't say it's necessarily true that we all look Asian.
Before Kaleo asked the next question about our Pacific Gas company's message, I'm surprised that you didn't say, because I got this a lot in college, and I'm not even Hawaiian. I just told them I was born and raised in Hawaii. But you guys live in grass shacks?
Oh, you
Nope.
know what? Yeah, that would be another one. I was in Michigan one time. I was 15 and it's snowing and someone saw my long hair and they're like, "Are you from Hawaii?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
I'm from Hawaii."
Hawaii.
Yeah, and they're like, "Don't you guys wear coconut bras?" And I'm like, "It's snowing outside. Would you be wearing a coconut bra?" And that's Tahitian, by the way.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes, yeah, people really don't understand. We had electricity before. I mean, Honolulu, the city of Honolulu and Iolani Palace had electricity before the White House did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people don't understand how ahead of the time we
Yeah,
were, and
how advanced we
you
were. Yeah.
know, and in a time where most Americans didn't go to like the 6th grade, 97% of the Hawaiian population were literate in 4 different languages. Our newspapers were in 4 different languages. We were super smart. 97% of our entire population was literate.
That's what's up.
And we're the first place in the world to mandate school,
I did
to
see
mandate
that.
education.
I did see that before.
We're the first place in the world to mandate education for our children. Yep. People really just don't know. And then we're also the first non-European nation to be recognized as a country. So, anyways, I love history. I love Hawaiian history.
I could listen to you for hours. Just like
Hey.
my auntie gets going off on rants about it too, and I just sit there and I just like like I'll just sit there and listen, and she'd be like, "Why you no speak?" I'm like, "I'm just listening, auntie."
I'm learning. I'm absorbing everything.
Just eating your Cheetos.
Exactly. Usually with
Yo.
chopsticks, though, you know.
Yo.
Oh, yes, chopsticks. People think that's weird, but then you don't get yuck on your
You don't
fingers.
get, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
I didn't know what chopsticks were.
I eat chips with chopsticks. Yeah.
Okay, see, look, listen.
Ooh, we are Asian.
Not weird.
Not weird. It's not weird. Hey, but Kaleo, like before you ask the question, a lot of your friends from your streaming world, they always ask about the culture. She would be perfect to bring on the stream.
She really would. They always ask me stuff, and I'm just like,
Oh,
okay.
ask away. I love it. I love.
Oh my gosh. But no, seriously though. So like obviously you've learned a little bit about us. So tell me, what are your thoughts on the Pacific Ave Company's message about uniting our Pacific people from Polynesia, Melanesia, Indonesia?
I think we need to do that. I think it's way overdue. And Kalakaua tried to unite all of Oceania, and Samoa was going to be the first to join this confederate of the Pacific. I think it needs to be done because we're stronger together and we're all going through our different oppressions, same time, same things. We're all going through the same thing and we're all complaining about the things. And if we all just came together and I just talked about this. Well, first of all, someone brought it up on another podcast about how come we got overthrown. And I was just saying, I think it's because our kings and queens were songwriters and they weren't warriors anymore.
Yeah.
They were writing music and they were just a little bit more civilized, which isn't a bad thing. Diplomacy is not bad, but I think they lost that warrior spirit. I feel like if we fought back, like when you think about history, the Philippines were overtaken by America, right? And they had nothing but machetes, okay? And they fought off America and got their country back. We could all do the same things, I feel like. I feel like if we fought a little bit harder rather than Polynesians, Islanders, we have such a giving spirit. No matter what you call it, aloha. We all have aloha for each other. Aloha, aroha. We all have this thing that our colonizers were missing. And I think there's a time and a place for that. And I feel like that may have gotten us in these situations. And
Yeah.
I think we do need to come together. And I hate seeing us separated. Especially, I see a lot of things being, I hate to say this, but I see a lot of Micronesians being stereotyped and just like prejudiced against. And I didn't know the difference before either. Like, I just thought they were all similar. They're all the same. But no, there's different islands. And you know what? My neighbors are Micronesian and they're just the most beautiful people. They're from
Pompeii.
They're Pompeian.
Yep.
And they're every day they come and bring something for my babies. If I'm home by myself, they come and check on me. The husband and the wife cook dinner because they know that if me and my husband are like gone and they know there's only one of us.
Yeah.
They're just so loving and so giving, and I really hate hearing about the prejudice that they have against them, and people don't know their history, so that's why they have so much, I don't know, this weird awkward pilikia against them, but they don't know that their islands were bombed and taken advantage of and all these things, which is why they're here. It's the least we could do for them. And I hate seeing that separation. And then we have Melanesia. I have a really good friend, Matua, who is Melanesian, and for him, when he was sharing that in their country they cannot raise their flag because the Indonesian government will shoot them down, I was just like, wow, we need to help and love and like kind of support each other. I think it's time that we come together and make it a kāko'o thing and we support each other because we're all going through our own different oppressions and we don't have to do it alone.
Right. Exactly. I think, I've witnessed that, being, born and raised in Hawaii, I've witnessed that with the Micronesians. And, if I'm being really honest, I've had that prejudice towards them. Yeah. And I think it was more of the mistake that, we're all going to have bad apples in the bunch, right? And when something happened, we automatically say, oh, it's those Micronesians, or it's those Polynesians or Samoans or so I think, we all fall into that little rabbit hole at some point, but we got to bring it back and be like, all right, maybe we can help them. You know what I mean? Maybe we can help them move forward. Maybe they're just stuck in the rut right now, but I had the same experience. One of my sister's best friend is Micronesian. And we live next to Micronesians for a long time. A lot of my mom's coworkers are all Micronesians and Filipinos, and their culture is all exactly the same as our Samoan culture or Hawaiian culture.
Yes.
Which is the reason why I was their best friend, because they related so much.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, you brought up all the different ways of saying aloha, alofa and all that stuff, and I seen one of these comments on one of our recent videos was this person was like, but we're different, especially in the language. I was like, especially in the language? Do you see how similar? We're
pretty similar.
You pretty much just change one letter and it's the same word.
Yeah.
And it's the same meaning.
Like okay, we acknowledge that we're different, but we're still the same. We can still become unified together and grow and
Yeah,
learn each other's
yeah.
differences and
Uh-huh.
celebrate those. Like that part just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That's what my family taught me, you
Yeah.
know, like everyone.
There is more when you think about our populations, we could be just as big as China.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you
Yeah.
think about how many people there are throughout Melanesia, Micronesia, Polynesia, throughout Moana Nui, even including, I mean, we can possibly include Philippines and Japan in there because we're all like there, you know, like we are bigger. We have so much more people.
Uh-huh.
I think it sucks that we're just separated, and
Yeah.
now we see like Westerners see that this ocean is a boundary when no, nobody knew this ocean better than our people did.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
We need to get back to that. We need to like
Exactly.
not see boundaries like that, not see it as an obstacle or something that I can't get through.
Right.
No,
Right.
this is just a river. This is just a highway. This is just how I get from here to there. That's all they saw it.
Yep.
They weren't afraid of it. And that's also when I think about posts, like, you know, what's your ancestors, and any ethnic group can relate to this. What did your ancestors have to go through? Because so many of us went through stuff. What did they have to go through? You can't do a post. You can't just do a show up at work, clock in. You're complaining about that when your ancestor had to spend 9 months on sea just for you to be here standing today, when your ancestor had to go through the slave trade or whatever it is. When people talk about first world problems, I'm like, girl, you can totally change your circumstance. That's
Mm-hmm.
what our people did. Our people utilized resources. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly had a thought, and then like what Kaleo said, I could just listen to you. I listened and I got lost in
Sorry.
listening to
Sorry.
Don't apologize. It's fantastic.
you.
I love talking about it. I'm passionate about it. That's all. Yeah.
I mean, we're us Islanders in general. We're very passionate, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I now remember because we were talking about the ocean and how our peoples know the ocean like the front of our hand and the back of our hand. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But that kind of played into a big part of I'm talking about the company now with Pacific Ave Company and how I came up with the name because I wanted something that portrays the connection between our islands, right? And obviously the word Pacific or Pacifica or Pacifica or Oceania, I want it to be a little bit different and take the spelling Pacifica, but without the A, and then obviously I have Avenue in there. Um, how I came up with the name, right? Avenue. What do you think of? You think of a street, right? And
Yeah.
on that street, you think of houses, a neighborhood, families living there. And so the way I came up with the name was I saw our ocean as our street, our
Nice.
avenue.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah.
islands on that avenue is the
Yep.
houses. And it also shows that even though we all lived in our own little houses, we all grew up in the same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood,
Right.
same Moana,
Right,
all
exactly.
Moana.
So
Yeah.
that's how I came up with the name Pacific Ave
Yeah.
Company. So
I love that.
I'm glad that you brought up the connection of the ocean because some
Yeah.
people would be like, "Oh, we're all connected, but we're just separated by the ocean." Don't say you're separated by the ocean. You're connected by the
connected
ocean.
by
Yeah,
the ocean.
connected for sure.
I rather fly over ocean than land. Flying over land freaks me out. Ocean, I know I can handle. Land, no. I don't know. Boom. Psh. Like I rather like anytime I fly over the ocean, I'm like, oh yeah, we're all good. Like
No,
even when I
for
look at
real.
my kids, I'm like, we're fine.
For real, but if we
I
crash
can
in
swim.
if we crash in the ocean, we just have Jason Momoa come save us.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
I mean, what better, than Aquaman to come and have the dolphins guide us back home, please. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right. Perfect.
Or not the dolphins, the whales. Sorry, the whales.
Yeah, the whales. Whale rider. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We don't have time for one more question, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask the question. Gosh, I feel like it's gonna go on for another half an hour, but I'll just ask the question.
Oh,
Try to keep
I'll
it
keep it
short.
short. Sorry, I'll keep it short. Yeah.
Try to keep it short. And then we're gonna do the final question
Got him.
that Kalei loves to do, and we'll do the one must go right after that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
within this, and within our cultures, right? We have had and shoot, I could probably bring you on another episode just to talk more on this because I feel like it's a big topic that people notice it, but I think they're not like really talking about this because I feel like I'm the only one that's talking about it all the time. But there is separation within, right? Within the cultures, like there's hatred towards like, and it's just examples. I'm not saying that Hawaiians hate Samoans or there's hatred between Samoans and Tongans, and it's been a lot better now, and hatred between that. So like, where do you think that stemmed from? You know what I mean? Because yeah, I don't even know where that came from. Like, why did
You
we
know
start
what?
hating each other?
My my mom never told me that we were part Samoan until I was like 18.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because apparently Samoans were kind of like what Micronesians are now, like the fobby fresh off the boat, just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
here taking over thing, sa'osa kind of thing, the thugs. Um and so my mom was like, she just didn't want to be associated and didn't want to. And it was just a time,
Mhm.
bone thug life, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't know where it stemmed from when Samoa and Hawaii were so close in their nations, back in the day. And there was also another podcast that other people were being interviewed, and they were saying that they wish Hawaii was more, I guess, a part of the rest of Polynesia, that there is a separation. And I don't know if Hawaiians just feel this type of way or just I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what it is. But I do know what you mean, because there is like, my grandma was very much like that. She's like, you're more Hawaiian than you are Samoan or Tahitian, when she did find out. Anyways.
Yeah.
But and there's just like this tuturu, yeah, hai maka maka kind of vibe about it sometimes. And I just think it comes from a lot of hurt. We have a lot more to prove. I think there's also like, we lost our language, not so much in Samoa. They still speak their language. They still perpetuate their culture. They still have, they still have fale and stuff like that. They still have fa Samoa things going on. And I feel like because we just lost everything, I feel like it's like almost like a shame thing. Like, we have so much more to prove. Like,
right.
who are you? Who are you? Like, you guys are more cultural than us. Like,
right. It almost seemed like, and I got the vibe off it. I don't know if it actually is, but it almost seemed like it was us Hawaiians against the world. I'm like, no, you have your Polynesian, Micronesian, Melanesian brothers that could back you up if you asked for that help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It almost seemed like that. That's why I said that.
And I think it was too, just like we went through an actual, so in 1904, we went through an actual Americanization of the territory of Hawaii. I think it just, you're this and nothing else. And that already kind of detached us. We're already lost and detached from culture. So everything and this was by the DOE. DOE instructed this, okay? The Americanization of the territory of Hawaii. And they were only allowed to learn U.S. geography, U.S. presidents, U.S. hymns, U.S. songs, U.S. history, nothing else. So I think that trauma of just being broken and then not being able to speak our language already, just being broken, not even knowing what to do, having that cultural identity loss kind of just made us hate everyone. Whoa.
That was
That's totally an Apple thing.
That was the fireworks. The fireworks was on cue. That was a mic drop.
Oh, well. So it was, yeah, I think that's what it was. It was just our loss of cultural identity, and maybe just trying to fight even more so about our Hawaiianness. We're so unsure about our Hawaiianness that we're just upset with everyone else who might be more cultural than us.
They feel disconnected to the rest of their peoples. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because then, we make fun of Tongans too, but they're independent nation, yeah?
I think they're the only one.
They're the only independent nation, but we have the nerve to make fun? No, it's because we're jealous. No, I really don't know. I can't speak for all Hawaiians, but I'm a little jealous. Yes.
I think we all,
I'm a little jealous. Yeah, but I'm still gonna make fun of them and not say that I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna make fun and not let them know that I'm jealous. No,
I mean,
but I think that's what it was.
It's the same thing in the Samoa's Islands. Samoa's Islands. What the freak? The Samoan Islands. Like there's
Sounds delicious.
now there's Western Samoa and then American Samoa. You know what I mean? Because like our Samoan people fought and they partially won. partially won, partially lost. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you get that island. This is just us. And then just because of that little thing that happened right now, Western Samoans don't like American Samoans. Like, bro, we're Samoans.
We're cousins. We're all cousins.
Yeah, we're all cousins. That's what me and Kaleo would call each other when we first met. It was like, hey,
Yeah.
and we're Hawaiian and Samoan, and we call each other cousins.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. No, I think that's what it stems from. We just really wish we were more culturally connected. And I think, but I don't think we're like that now. I think it was more of a past thing because now, if you're a poly kid, you're the cool kid in school. You know, like everyone loves the poly kids. Like I hung out with the poly kids too, and but I'm poly, but for them I'm Hawaiian, so it was
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that happened around like my dad's generation because I remember growing up, there was a lot of like, not necessarily hate towards his culture, but he wanted nothing to do with it because it was so ingrained that you didn't learn this, you didn't do this, you needed to practice this way, not the old way.
Yeah.
So growing up, there was a lot of like disconnect for that with me. Until we started to become a little bit more closer to my tutu and all that stuff, and then it was just like, oh, and then he started to embrace it in his much older years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well,
that's all it is. Hurt people hurt other people. That's what it is. Hurt people hurt other people. We're just hurt and we're still healing, but we're not like that anymore. We're a little bit more inclusive now. Now that I feel like now's the time for us to include all of our, back to that other question, include all of our other Pacific Islander brothers and sisters,
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot my thought. So, as we're ending the show, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to again thank you, Ku'uleilehua, for coming on the show. It was a great episode because even though I was born and raised in Hawaii, I still learned a lot.
God, I learned so much.
I'm glad.
And I'm sure all the listeners and watchers, definitely appreciate it. I mean, some people might get mad about some stuff that we say, but, again, at the end of the day, like we always say, it's just our opinions about what we believe and how we feel like it might be better this way, it might be better that way. At the end of the day, that's how, when the world changes, that's how you come together, you figure out a solution to keep moving forward instead of falling back into the same problem, right?
Yeah.
And so that's us talking on our feelings and how we feel like things might be better this way or whatever it is, right? But yeah, we're gonna get into the favorite part, and super fast, super quick, and I've asked this before. One must go.
Okay.
I'll give you 4 choices, and you have to choose one of them to go away forever.
Okay, go.
And maybe you saw this, and maybe you answered.
I haven't.
Boy, I didn't ask you the question yet.
Oh, sorry.
So, we're going with music. Sorry, I'm laughing because I just feel Kaleo's anger already.
Feel just.
All right, one of these artists and all of their music gone forever.
Oh, what? You didn't? Okay. Go.
Yeah. One of these artists.
Go.
First one, brother is. Second one, Kelly Rachel. Third one, Kapena. Fourth one, Cecilian Kupono.
I know all those people.
You understand why I will never answer this.
Well, maybe not necessarily them go away, just the music that they produce.
Their music that they produce.
Their music
never existed.
Okay, wait. What? Say it again.
Brother is.
No, you don't have to say it. You don't have to say it again. I don't know. Sorry. You know what? My family would hate me, but I know the answer. Only because, and this is the only reason. It's just because it's more feel good music and not necessarily sending a
No,
message.
you better not say it. I have a feeling you might say it.
I would never say is
Oh yeah.
because
Okay.
he wrote 1978 and a bunch of other things about Hawaiian pride. Kelly Reichel also does other things and also perpetuates the language. CNK also kind of wrote some amazing Hawaiian Renaissance songs as well. Okay, I don't even want to say.
She's gonna
Okay,
say it.
I love that song.
What?
I see it.
Masese.
You know what? And I have danced on stage with them to that song.
Woo.
I'm just saying from a
It's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard.
Hence why I refuse to answer it.
But you have to. You know,
I
it's
don't
part
think
of
I
the
can say
game.
that.
It's
I
part of
don't
the
have to
game.
answer it.
I mean, you have to. It's part of the game.
Oh gosh.
And
Oh, maybe I'm gonna-
it's a hypothetical question. It's not like it's ever you actually
It's
want that
not
to happen.
real.
Yeah.
It's not real, right?
No, it's
care.
not
just-
real. It's just
It's
to build social media. People gonna like to hear this.
oh no.
Okay, you know
Oh.
what? Maybe one day I will answer it, but right now, today's not the day.
Wait, people answer this?
People answered it.
Yes,
People
I am
answered
the
it.
only one that has not answered it.
Oh yeah, because I actually finally gave
I don't
in.
think you understand. My family goes to every single concert.
Kapena?
Yes.
And you're like leading to that answer?
I'm just saying because of I'm very Ku'e Hawaii. I'm very and if I have to think about their music, they make more fun songs, mixed melody, fun drinking songs.
Karaoke song, everything.
Not things, but would their music have any impact on my like Hawaiianness? Oh man, I really love them and they're from my area, but I would have to say them. Just because we learn a lot of history from the other people and they've written beautiful songs about our history and about our people. Yeah.
So what
I'm
you're
not
saying?
gonna say their
What you're
I'm not
saying?
gonna say their name
Uncle-
out loud, but
So-
I'm saying them.
So what you're saying, Uncle Kapena? Write more songs that has to. Nah, just kidding. That's it. I'm just hey,
I'm just saying their songs are fun.
It
But I'm
doesn't
very
mean-
serious about Hawaiian things, so I would have to say the other three need to stay.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to
Yeah.
put that on you, but
Sorry.
So mean.
Sorry.
I
Sorry, guys.
I gave in and I answered it and
Oh, you answered it? Who was
He
it?
did answer it.
And
Who
it
was
was-
it?
it was mainly because I don't have any
I think I
Hawaiian.
know who you're saying.
Mainly because I don't have any Hawaiian blood in me.
Easy
And-
for you. No,
But I grew up in, born and raised in Hawaii, So, I mean, I can't get rid of brother he's the GOAT. He's literally the only person that probably, I guarantee, no leave. You know what I mean? Everybody else,
Yeah.
you think about it a little bit, but brother is guaranteed no leave.
Yeah.
And
but the other one, they both, Iz and Kelly made Hawaii very popular, I will say. What is these?
It's those Apple things, you know.
Yeah.
weird.
And if you don't know CNK, then you're just not OG Hawaiian.
Not OG.
You just don't know.
Yeah. Some people was answering CNK, especially my wife. My wife said CNK, and then I started playing the songs like, okay, what about this song? What about this song? And then she was like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm not choosing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I chose Kelly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that
I
is.
knew it. I knew it. I knew you did.
It just, but that it makes sense though. You know what I'm saying? Because, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the show again. Check out our website, pasifikaveco.com. We just launched it Sunday. It makes one official week that it was live, and let's go. And we just got a little bit of inventory in. I know it says sold out. For those that have checked it out, but I mean, we're just starting, and so far we're only doing pre-orders. So Make sure you sign up for the newsletter so you get updates on when the drops are. Even though I told you it's going to be on March 1st, but that's exclusive for those who listen to the podcast.
Oh, and I'm so excited for the new one.
I am too, but that's why I wanted to meet with you on Saturday when we have our meeting because I have second thoughts about other stuff. Blah blah blah. Anyways,
His brain doesn't stop.
my brain does not stop. Don't stop, ever stop. Anyway, sorry. We're getting off track. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Kaleo, gosh dang it. There's so much K names. So much K names. On our live show, we had Kaleo and Kayla, and then now we got Ku'uleilehua and Kaleo, and I'm like, I'm mixing up the names, but Kaleo, take us out, please.
Take us out. Oh, with my normal?
Yes. Which tied into what Ku'uleilehua said earlier?
Yes, absolutely. Like I always say, remember to be uniquely you. It is the best thing that you could ever do. You're worth it, and I appreciate you.
And what I always say, just what the whole world should be doing. Treat others the way that you want to be treated. The golden rule. Ku'uleilehua. Gosh dang it. You have any words? Final words.
Yee-hoo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end. Check out Ku'uleilehua. Other socials will be down below. She is amazing on social media. She has a lot of tips on a bunch of other stuff. If you want to learn how to dance, if you want to learn how to do your hair and all that stuff, even though you don't have nice, beautiful Hawaiian hair, if you want to do your hair, she got tips and all that stuff for that. Check it out. Follow everything, all that shebang, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Yes, sir.